Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Jason Mackey's First 10, a quick hit podcast to get you ready for the day. Today, we're all request your questions. Seems like a lot of Pirates stuff from looking at the queue. Put out something on Twitter, actually two things on Twitter last night, and a lot of Pirates vitriol came back. So this is going to be a fun therapeutic session for both of us. First, want to remind you that we're sponsored by the North Shore Tavern. You don't have to be a baseball fan to love it there. The interior is wall-to-wall Pirates. There are appetizers, entrees, cocktails, and of course, steak and seafood on a sizzling lava stone. Open every day. The North Shore Tavern across from PNC Park is Pittsburgh's home for steak on a stone. So I'm going to be somewhat short in these answers just because there's so much that I want to get to, and I want to try to respect as many answers as possible. I want to try to get a little bit of an array, not just Pirates. So let's get into it right now. Largely Condios at Way Large asks, do you think Dave Parker should be in the Hall of Fame? Absolutely. Goes without this shouldn't even be a question. I understand why it's being asked. The fact that he's not in there, to me, is criminal. I've always thought that. I think he will get in eventually, but I do not understand why Dave Parker is not in the Hall of Fame. That's an easy one. John Taylor writes, what does the future hold for Endy Rodriguez, first baseman of the future? It's an interesting one. I get asked about Endy a lot, and I like Endy a great deal. And I don't think we know would be the short answer, because I think some of it depends on Henry Davis, how he comes back from AAA. If he ends up being a catcher, like a catcher, and you want to catch him a lot, I'd probably skew him over Endy Rodriguez just because of the elbow stuff. I think there may be an opportunity for him to play first base, but I want to see how he recovers coming out of the elbow injury. Curious to see whether he hits. He's in the middle of a hitting progression right now. There's a chance, a very outside chance, he could come back this season as a left-handed hitter. Goldie at Robbie G72. Do you think Shelty is on the hot seat? No, I'm not going to say I think he's on the hot seat. Do I think that they need to be better than they are right now? Yes. I do. And I think the expectations are higher. I understand the connotation that comes with me saying that I think Shelton's on the hot seat, and that's going to be taken and people are going to run with that. But I don't think what they're doing right now is acceptable. I don't think Shelton thinks what they're doing right now is acceptable. I don't think they'll, like, if they finish with 70 wins, I was asked that question again. I don't think that will be met with great joy by Bob Nutting or whomever. So if you want to call it the hot seat, I don't think like a managerial change is what they're looking at imminently. But, do I think that like there's some unrest over what happened the past 2 days and feeling like they should have started better than they have? Yes, I think that's fair. Zach Henry, he asks, what are the chances the Pirates would be willing to do a prospect for prospect trade for a young first baseman close to the majors? Sorry for the double up. Any chance we can see the young pitchers come up from the minors to assist the bullpen? Ashcraft maybe at some point. Let me get the second part of that first, Zach. And I would say yes. I think there's Ashcraft is a guy I look at who could come up here and help. The rest of them, I think you kind of look at on a situation by situation basis. Like Chandler right now is on the IL. He's not coming up. But could Ashcraft help them? Yes. I think we saw that in spring, and they might need that help. I think about, the bullpen this month has not been very good. Where else do you turn? Maybe you go out and get an arm. Maybe you bring up somebody. Maybe you do things a little bit differently. I'm not sure. But Ashcraft would be one. Absolutely. And the prospect trade, young first baseman close to the majors. I don't know if I want it. Let's say they, commit to needing something at first base. And I don't think they know that. That would be my argument. That, for a large part of this year, I was pretty good with Connor Joe. I don't think they've investigated that as far as they can or should. I think we've come to the conclusion that Rowdy Tellez is not part of the solution, which is fine. But you need to act on that, and then maybe, I don't know, give Jake Lamb some time over there. Maybe there's an opportunity to shoehorn another fit over there. I'm not sure who that is. I've heard Yasmani Grandal, which I don't like, Joey Bart, which I could be okay with. If you want to try to get his bat in the lineup, if he can do anything over there, that's an intriguing one to me. I don't know if I love a midseason move to put O'Neal Cruz at first base, but I understand the defense has not been good at shortstop. I just think you got to give him a chance to play. Does Jared Triolo hit enough to carry a spot over there? I don't know. Probably not. I'd be curious to see if Jack Sawinski could play over there. If he comes back and, maybe that's an opportunity for him to play. I don't know. I know I got called crazy for this, and that's fine. I'm still curious if Andrew McCutchen could play over there, frankly. You could put somebody else at DH and give yourself some flexibility. But, I've also been told by many people that that's an insane idea. So no. But a prospect trade, I'm okay giving up some prospects to get a bat. I'd like to just wait a little bit longer and see what that bat is, what position that bat plays, et cetera. Like there's the possibility that Connor Joe could come out of this funk and then, maybe Key Brian Hayes isn't healthy. And now we're talking about needing to add a third baseman. So I don't know if I'd commit to a first baseman at this point, unless I'm getting something for an absolute steal. All right. I love Madris. Asks Jason, what's your favorite food item from PNC Park? I don't eat at PNC Park. Maybe I should try the Renegade dog, but I usually stick to media food, which I'm guessing people aren't going to care about that. And I'm also very simple. If I go to a baseball game, like I am totally good with a hot dog, popcorn, something like that. I have not deviated much from that. All right. Skip at Leland Marlboro. Love the whatever you would call it, Twitter username. What's the best part of the new gig? There are a lot, and there are a lot that I haven't quite adjusted to yet. Truth be told, like the workflow, the lack of travel, the creativity, the writing on a specific basis. Like, I have a high motor for writing. And so I find, sticking to like 3 or 4 columns a week, a little bit confining. I've tried to find my middle ground. I would say the best part of the new gig is the variation. I do get the bounce to Steelers, to Penguins, to Pitt, to Riverhounds. I like the variation, the different topics that I get to write on, the different people I get to see. One of my favorite things about this job has always been that no 2 days look the same. And it's taken that and multiplied it by about 100. So it hasn't been perfect. I haven't been perfect. We're working on all of it, but I do think it's resulted in some pretty cool work. Will Kyle Dubas' first offseason trade occur before the NHL draft? I'm not even sure on dates on this, if it's legal, the way it lines up. I think it is. Again, this is, kind of off the top of my head, but I don't know about the timing. I don't think the timing is really important. Even if it's not, I don't think that means that Dubas has failed. I do think they need to make a trade or two. I do think they will make a trade or two, but whether it's before the NHL draft or not sure. Let's look at this. Why haven't the Pirates DFA'd Tellez? Why haven't they Pirates given Henry Davis a first baseman's glove and said, that's your position, go play there and hit like Lou Gehrig? Whoa, Wayne coming in hot. Wayne 037922. All right, well, let's tackle the easy part of that first. Why haven't the Pirates DFA'd Tellez? I'm a little confused by it too. What I can tell you is I do think they want to give him all the runway they can. Maybe they feel like it's too reactionary. They want to play him a little bit more, allow him to get confident, maybe get healthy. I don't know if he's, Rowdy has never talked to us about being banged up, but oftentimes a guy is struggling as much as he is. There's an input there. You try to ride it out as much as possible. That being said, I don't totally understand it. To me, we're at the point with Rowdy where it would be better to just save everybody. Like, fans don't want to watch him play. I don't think he's having a great time. I don't understand how he's going to snap out of a funk by not playing. And if you DFA him now, he likely becomes a free agent. Maybe another team with this much season left, they bet for a league minimum that he's going to find it again, which I think he will. To me, you flip that switch now. I'm a little surprised they haven't done it. Henry Davis, I'm a hard no on the first base thing with him. I think they made great strides with his catching this offseason. His catching was not the issue. The issue was the bat. He's gone down to AAA. He's been very good. Let's not call him Lou Gehrig quite yet, but yeah, I would just not go there. I bristle at the idea of Cruz or Henry Davis going to first base, frankly, because they're the best two arms in the team. Why are we putting them at first base? I don't totally get or agree with that. All right, let me pull up a second batch of questions here. That was on the resubmit, and some of the initial ones, and some of these ones end up just being like vitriol. Prettiest D3 park, best facilities you played in. Oh, I like that. Bream was out at Parking Chair asks that. And as many of you know, I played at Westminster from 2002 to 2006. As much as I love Westminster, the best facilities I played in were not in New Wilmington. They would be now. What they've done to the facility now is gorgeous, and it makes me so jealous. But it was not that way when I was there. Maybe Cal U. Well, I guess that's not a D3 park. Cal U played at the Wild Things field. So that was really cool. As much as it pains me to say, W&J's setup was really good. We played the PAC championship there, and that was a fun park to go to. I always liked playing there. Waynesburg was cool. Again, this is killing my Westminster heart to admit this, but kind of a remote area, but they always kept really good care of the field. The bullpens were right there. I enjoyed that. So, all right. You previously mentioned the Pirates are on pace for only 70 wins. Is that enough to get Shelton fired? Mike Edwards at Mike BC Edwards. I don't think on its face that is. I think you have to look at context. If you see no or very few young players getting better, that would be a problem. And I think that would be something that could push Shelton out. If you're seeing them continue to do things like they've done the past two nights, fritter away perfectly winnable games. I know this is not quantifiable, but like not showing heart or want to. I think the Pirates have that. And I that's why I don't think, we're talking about a managerial change being imminent. Or if you see, blatant mismanagement of things. And I don't think you've seen that. I know people get mad at Shelton, but when you're picking between a reliever who's throwing something right over the plate and a reliever who can't find the plate, like that's a tough spot for the manager. At some point, it's on the players to execute. Now, you can also say it's on the guy building the roster to give Shelton better players to execute, and all of that's fair. But I think if it's 70 wins with no development, mismanaged games, a lack of effort, that sort of thing, like, yeah, that's going to be problematic, but I don't think we're there. What do we got? Ooh, I like these questions. Jim at Jberg, 2525, best press box food in Major League Baseball. Philadelphia, oddly enough, for as much vitriol that exists with Philly and Pittsburgh sports fans, they're very good to us in the media. That was the same way with the Flyers. It was a great place to cover a game. It was always entertaining. But Citizens Bank Park is my number one. They have their own ice cream shop in the press box, like not like a scoop of ice cream or a soft serve machine, like a legit dude working at this place. Frankie Two Scoops is his name. And they're like 10 different kinds of ice cream, a whole Sunday bar. They make milkshakes and malts. It's unbelievable. Love that. Drew Cagle asks at Kagels _ bagels, if the Steelers don't start 3-0, is that a disappointment? No, I don't. I wouldn't qualify that as a disappointment. That being said, if you go through the Steelers schedule, I think it's front loaded. Like, I think they should be able to make some hay before division games start. That's for sure. I just want to pull up their schedule here one more time just to look at it and make sure I'm going okay off of memory. But yeah, I don't think we know what the Chargers will be. I'd like to see them beat the Falcons and Broncos. I think those are certainly winnable games. But if they came out of there 2-1, I think that's fine. If they go 0-3, yeah, I think that's a disappointment. But anything other than 3-0, I have a tough time calling that a disappointment. So what do we got here? Kutch is him. This is a good one. In your view, does Beanie Bishop have a real path to meaningful playing time? I think so. Doing another Steelers question, but I mean, they need a slot corner. Beanie Bishop plays slot corner and has been pretty effective at West Virginia. I'm curious to see what they have there. I don't think they know that path forward. I think you need to put pads on to really see what happens. But I would say Beanie Bishop has a path to meaningful playing time. Real path, I don't know, but I do think there's something there. What do we got? Time to panic about the bullpen. Chris B at Chris MB66 asks, I don't know about panic, but I wish I could feel better about it. I'll give you that one. Signing Aroldis Chapman for $10.5 million this offseason. They went that direction because they thought they could make the bullpen a discernible advantage. Like they expected to have one of the best bullpens in Major League Baseball. They most certainly do not. As I wrote in my column today, they have the worst bullpen ERA in the National League in the month of May, 5.66. That's not good enough for what they're spending. They've got a two-time All-Star closer. They've got Chapman. They expected Baraki to actually play a role. I think they expected Carmen Majinski to be way more effective. I would argue Colin Holderman has punched above his weight or has, met expectations or whatever. I'm not sure anybody else has down there. I mean, Hunter Stratton's pitched a lot. I think the ERA is in the neighborhood of 5 right now. I don't think they've seen the necessary steps forward with Kyle Nicholas. Josh Fleming started good, but has since tapered. Luis Ortiz is there. I'm not sure I'd call him an elite arm. I'm not sure I'd be looking to DFA him. He's just kind of there. They lose Rowanzi Contreras. They really haven't been able to find anybody else who contributes down there, which is concerning. So I guess what I'm saying is if the existing guys don't figure it out and just start pitching better, or they don't sign somebody, which is going to be hard to do on May 24th, yeah, it's a little bit concerning. Something that could cost them games. And if you want to criticize them for something they did this offseason, go ahead, because it hasn't been good enough. What else do we got? There's a lot of Rowdy Tellez questions that I feel like I addressed that in one fell swoop there. Got another one. These are similar, and they're asked by the same guy at ME, or same man or woman. I don't know if it's guy at ME, then a whole bunch of numbers. Has Gorski earned a look? And what's your opinion on the long-term answer at first base? I'd go with Jack moving there, but what do I don't think that's a crazy situation. You need to see him play there. And I don't think they know what the long-term answer is. Gorski spent some time over there. I don't know if Matt Gorski is going to be your answer at first base, but I think you need to start turning over more rocks. Maybe the long-term answer is trading for somebody, signing somebody in the offseason. I don't know. I think you can look back at what they did this offseason and criticize them for not signing Carlos Santana. I know Santana's not setting the world on fire, but I think he had 7 home runs, 22 RBIs as of yesterday when I looked. I'd take that at first base right now. You're also getting leadership and much better defense. Again, we're talking about what difference of a couple $1 million. Now, I understand in the Pirates doing what they were doing, they wanted to give Connor Joe a little bit more runway to play, which in hindsight is a smart move. He's earned it. And so I don't totally hate that, but yeah, they need to figure out an answer somehow, which I know is easy for me to say from this side. And I'm not the one coaching, developing, deploying the lineup, but if Jack is the answer, I don't know. Getting more offense out of Triolo, I don't know. Again, I don't try Joey Bart over there. Fine. Connor Joe should play a lot. Connor Joe's in a funk right now. I'm not ready to, say his entire season's been a wash because he's in a funk. I'm going to let it go a little bit more. If he busts out of it, then I'm going to play him over there a lot. I think he's earned it. If he doesn't, I'm probably going to look for a platoon. I think Jake Lamb is an immediate answer. You could bring him up and platoon him with Joe. There's really no guarantees. He hasn't been good consistently in Major League Baseball for a long time, but he has been hitting extremely well in AAA. So I'm at least going to take a look, which, again, is what they need to do here and not be beholden to anything that's not helping them for the future. Yet another reason why I don't understand why they're sticking with Rowdy Tellez as long as they are. We'll see if they continue to do that. But they need to find more options at first base. That much is clear. It's problematic that we're even here. There was a chance to address that this offseason. They did not, and it came up short. So we'll see if they do. I've gone on much too long on here. I'm sorry. A lot of good questions. Thank you all so much for doing that. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. We'll be back here on Monday talking to you. Same place, same time. Should be, hopefully, an exciting series over the weekend against the Braves at PNC Park. I will be there Friday, maybe Sunday, not Saturday. And, we'll talk to you next week. Thanks again.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit post-gazette.com.